Our next part of the meeting is going to be a prepared speech, and it's going to be by Andy Nixon. Andy is a service and support manager with Worthington Industries in Columbus. His hobbies include fishing, hunting, and riding his motorcycle. And I've seen a picture of that motorcycle, and it's gorgeous. Today he will be giving speech number 7, focusing on researching a topic. His topic will be the truth surrounding Ron Kovic, who Tom Cruise portrayed in Born on the 4th of July. So please welcome Andy Nixon for Born on the 4th of July.
Thank you, Michael. You're welcome. Fellow Toastmasters, how's everyone today? Hope everyone's doing well. This is my 7th speech. The topic of this speech is actually Ron Kovic, who was portrayed by Tom Cruise, in the movie Born on the 4th of July, released in 1989. And the premise behind the speech is to research a topic. So I'm a cinema person by choice, I suppose. I enjoy watching movies. And I had never seen Born on the 4th of July before. So about 6 months ago, I finally got an opportunity to watch the movie. It was something that I hadn't taken the opportunity to watch before. I'm not a big fan of Oliver Stone. I enjoy the movies that he does, but I'm a historian, and sometimes he's not accurate. So I looked at this movie, which was done in 1989, and thought about how historically accurate it was. So after I watched the movie, which is very, very, very good drama if you've never seen it before. It's full of action, but it's more of a drama movie than it is an action movie. I thought about researching what happened. So let me give you the basic story behind the movie, and then we can talk about what I found out when I did my research. Ron Kovic is a disabled Vietnam veteran. He was wounded in 1968 in Vietnam in a battle south of the demilitarized zone at that time. In his book, also called Born on the 4th of July, he stated that they got into a firefight on January 20th, 1968, was the day that he was wounded. His platoon, troop, group of soldiers that he was in actually got into this firefight. And in his book, Ron Kovic claimed that his colleagues fled the scene, which left him and another soldier heavily pinned down with heavy gunfire, basically trying to defend themselves. Kovic was wounded in the foot, and so he couldn't walk, but he still laid down and started firing again. So him and this other soldier were emptying magazines, every bit of ammunition that they had, and eventually he got wounded in the shoulder. Kovic's wound was in the shoulder. However, the bullet went through his shoulder into his spinal cord, so Kovic was a paraplegic then. He was paralyzed from the chest down. That's the story as Kovic told it. It was dramatized very heavily in the movie Born on the 4th of July. If you've never seen the movie, I can describe the scene for you a little bit. It basically is Tom Cruise as Kovic in the middle of a field by himself, laying down fire against an enemy, and then he finally gets shot in the shoulder and falls over, can't move, can't walk. The movie actually attracted a little bit of attention, and specifically recently, there are 2 folks that were actually a part of that battle. 2 colleagues of his who were Marines at the time actually fought in that battle that kind of dispute what Kovic had to say about the battle. The first thing that they have to say about the battle is that the Marines never left Kovic and this other Marine. Never, never, never left him. What they say is that they all ran out of ammunition and needed to go get another box of ammo. So that's what they did, and then they came back to the firefight. One of the other things that Kovic said in his book and was portrayed in the movie was that he was basically alone during the firefight. They also dispute that because he was receiving medical treatment at the time after being wounded in the foot. So there was a medic with him, and while the medic was with him, he was receiving medical care and happened to be wounded in the shoulder the second time. The biggest thing that they dispute about Kovic's story is that during the evacuation, in which he couldn't walk, there was actually a medevac helicopter that came in, and there were reinforcement troops that came in that laid down covering fire so that Kovic, the medic, and the other soldier that were there could actually be evacuated. I don't think that I have to tell anyone that Kovic's injury was a priority. Obviously, something like that is a major injury, and it required a lot of people to be able to move him around the battlefield. What I also probably don't have to tell you is that as a Marine, these gentlemen were pretty offended by Kovic's story. One of them didn't actually know that anybody survived the battle. He thought everyone had died, which was unfortunate. That's how nasty of a battle it was. There was a lot of confusion. Also, while researching this topic, I pulled up some other history that I thought was interesting that I could show everyone and talk about. These gentlemen that dispute Kovic's story were named Rudy Molina Jr. and Dennis Kleppen. They are calling for a military tribunal to happen so that the United States Marine Corps can actually get the story straight and put it on folks' records. It's a very controversial topic. Ron Kovic and Oliver Stone stand by their story. They say that the battle happened exactly like Kovic described. Kovic came back from the war, was a paraplegic, and actually became a war activist. That's what most of the movie is about, is his activism. He was an anti-war activist. He did not support the war after it was over. He laid in a VA hospital for a very long time and was very upset at the care he received. Oliver Stone, he's still out directing war movies. He's directing historical movies. Sometimes they're accurate, sometimes he spins it a little bit for the story. I think the moral of the story and the thing that I'm trying to get to is you need to be careful about who you're telling stories to, especially if they're Marines. Thank you.